Good morning, everybody. My name is Miguel Cisneros. I'm part of the Residio Honeywell Homes tech support and training department. Uh, at this time, we're going to do a webinar. It's an overview of the VISTA panel 48LA and 20P. And we're going to talk a little bit about the VISTA 21IP, which are pretty much all the same. In terms of the programming, they use the same programming. There's a little difference between them, but we're going to see it over in the following slides, but pretty much are all the same. Those VISTA panels are like low-end VISTA panel installations. There's another two other VISTA panels, which are the high end, which are the 250, the 128 FBPT Vistas, which they have more. It depends on the installation. They have more zones. They manage 128 zones, and the other one 250 zones. This low end panels, they go to a maximum of 48 zones, which we're going to see the characteristics in the following slides. So we're going to start. This is a product overview of the Vista. We can see in the screen pictures of the Vista panel plus the accessories. There's all kind of accessories, wireless accessories, wire accessories. We can even connect using Total Connect. We can even connect the cameras, and we have a whole variety of cables that we can use in installation. Genesis cable, which are Honeywell, which are the ones we recommended for the all installations. These are considered like the Vista Plus hybrid panels. Why hybrid? Because they're wireless. They all have the capability of wireless devices installation. They can use wireless devices, accessories, these panels, also wire. Just a little agenda. We're going to talk about the Vista 48LA and the Vista 20 and the Vista 21IP. Why Vista? There is a reason why Honeywell Home Vista Plus series are the most commonly used control panels in the security industry. They offer you and your customers more than they really want. Simplify installation, robust protection, and innovative features that improve lifestyle, including simplified operation and support for home automation and control. Integrates intrusion, fire, GSM radio, state-of-the-art alarm communication, video, and automation capabilities in a flexible and scalable system. Meaning we can install Honeywell communicators to this panel, so we can set up an account in AlarmNet, and through AlarmNet we can use Total Connect for this panel. Meaning that you can use your cell phone, your tablet to manage on the road the panels. You can arm, disarm, see troubles, see who's logging in, who's arming the system, who's disarming. You can arm and disarm the system remotely, etc. Right? You can even manage your zones with the Total Connect. It's and also it provides time and cost effectively for facilities, training, system programming, and inventory. This is very affordable panels. That's why it's a cost efficiency for facilities for the clients in general. This is a little bit of the characteristic of the Vistas. They all have 48 zones maximum in any configuration. They have 8 wire zones, a standard 8 wire zones, which are the wires that are included in the panel, in the panel itself, in the motherboard. They can also get up to 15 wire zones when you double the zones. in a little bit, we're going to see how we double the zones without using any other accessories like any other expanders. We can go up to 15 wire zones in these panels, or we can go up to 40 maximum wire expansion, wire zone expansion using the expansors, which are the 4219 and the 4229. Each of these expander can have up to 8 extra zones, and meaning that you can use up to 5 of these expanders on the panel, right? Or you can go up to 40 wireless zone, up to 40 maximum wireless zone using the 58 series receiver, Honeywell receiver. In this case, when you use when you're going to use wireless accessories, they have to be Honeywell. It can be any other brand. They have to be Honeywell. You have to use all Honeywell products. They also have up to 16 key fob zones. The key fob zones are the zones dedicated for the key fob. Each key fob use up to 4 zones, and you can use up to four of them. Each meaning that each one use 4 zones times 4 is 16 zones, right? They have 16 programmable outputs. Those are the relays using the relay expander, also the 4204 or the 4229. The XN is not available anymore. It's obsolete. We don't use that anymore. And also, this panel has 2 onboard programming trigger outputs. And depending on the Vista, you can have up to 2 or 4 touch screen, the AUI consoles, which is, for example, the Tuxedo. Those are the touch screen. The keypad with that has a screen. It's not touch. I mean, they don't have the keys like the regular ones. They have a touch screen. They have up to 12 zone lists, which are already set up by default by factory. Pages support up to 4. You can put up to 4 pages. It's fully downloadable via Compass. Compass is a software that Honeywell offers. It's a free software, which basically what it does, when you download it from my webtech.honeywell.com, you download the software, and you can connect remotely to the panels. You don't have to be in the panel in the location of the panel itself to program your panel. You can do it remotely. You connect it to your Vista panel through a communicator. You have to install a communicator in your panel, or you can use also the phone line, the analog phone line, the regular analog phone line, and then you can, from your office, from your house, you can connect to the panel, right? That's a plus in terms of if you're gonna do some changes on the programming. You can just connect to the panel and do the changes. You don't have to be on site. You don't have to send a technician to do the changes. You can do it remotely. They all have like 254 event log view. You can view those on the keypad, and also using the Compass, you can view the event log. It has up to 254. What it does is every event on the panel is recorded on the memory of the panel, and then you can easily see all the activities. The last 254 activities on the panel. You can see it on the keypad. You don't have to talk like to get a report from the central station. You can see it in your keypad. It has 5 assignable user code authority levels. They have 5 authority levels for the users. It manages 4 or 10 digit account numbers. This is for the central station, the account number that the central station is going to assign it to your panel. It could be 4 or 10 digits. It's SIA compliant. You have voice chime, so it can tell you as long as it's open or it goes on fall or goes on alarm. It's going to tell you which one it is if you put the name. It has the auto stay arming and the step arming also. This is a little table comparison of the different Vista panels. Vista 48, Vista 20, and Vista 21IP, they all have the same characteristics versus the Vista 15 or the Vista 10. 48 maximum zones, 8 standard wire zones. If you double, it's 15. The Vista 15 and the Vista 10, you can double zones. You can go using an expander. You can go up to 40 zones. Using a wireless receiver, the 5800 series, you can go also up to 40 more zones. 16 key fob zone. The output, the relays up to 16 also. Onboard triggers, you have 2 partitions. They have 2 plus the lobby, that's the common zone, or you can use the common zone as another independent zone. I mean partition. So you can have up to 3 partitions on this VISTA20P48LA panel. The event load 250, use the code, you can use up to 48 users on these panels. The touch screen, 4. Support chime by zone and extend support, but that one is obsolete. We don't use the extend anymore. We're going to talk about a little bit what's really a security system. Is the components, the control panel, which is the alarm center, the keyboards, the input devices, which are the PIRs, the magnetic contact, the glass break detector, the smoke sensors, and the output devices, which are the siren, the speaker, the strobes, and the accessories such as expander, wireless receiver, etc. Those are the key components of the alarm. The control panel we can see on the screen. It's in the middle, and all around the control panel you can see all the different accessories and devices we can install. Basically, the control panel is the unit, is the brain of every alarm. Every alarm system, the function. It first it receives the signal from the sensors. It processes the signal depending on the programming. It processes it. It evaluates according to established parameters, which is the programming, and communicate the alarm condition. The features, depending on the alarm on the panel, the number of alarm zones available, and the number of areas or partitions. The control panel acts based on the schedule that was made, how we program the zone, and the programming can be done in 2 different ways, via keyboard or via software. Via keyboard, that we're going to see later on, the installer using a key sequence manually program the panel on site using the keyboard, the keypad. Via programming, it requires a PC with a communication software through which the panel is accessed remotely, usually by phone, by the phone line, or now we got those communicators, and they're locally in the programming download, which is made based on the installation of the Compass software. What is a zone? A zone is an area or point of protection with common characteristics that groups one or more similar sensors. A zone, it doesn't mean that a zone is usually a zone is only one access, like for example one sensor, but you can combine in one zone several sensors, like for example door or window contacts, but we don't recommend that, because then they all gonna, when they're in trouble, they're all gonna send a signal that is, for example, zone number 1 only. You really won't know which one is the one in trouble. That's why we recommend for each device use for each zone use one device. The zone, it allows to easily identify the area or place where the events occur. It doesn't mean, that's what we said, it doesn't mean the number of devices or sensors that can be connected to the control panel. Since, as we will see later, we can interconnect sensors in a certain way, allowing more than one sensor to be connected to a zone. Zone configuration, we have three kinds of zone configuration: wire, software, and wireless. The wire is a zone that is connected directly to the panel plate or to an expansion plate by means of cables, so running cables. Software, in this case, there is no physical connection, but the assignment of a function to a zone by program. For example, the wireless push button, the keyboard function keys on the keypad, the A, B, C, or D buttons on the keypad, they can be programmed by software. And the wireless zone, and these are zones that the panel handles through a wireless receiver module, which is the 5800 series, which can be internal or external to the panel board. Zone types, we have all kind of several zone types. The first one is a use zone. When you're not using a zone, you just leave it as an unused, 0. We have entry or exit intrusion delay, perimetric zones, interior follower. Those are the motion sensors. We got fire zones, panic, 24 hours silent, 24 hours audible, etc. And we got the day warning, night alarm, and the arm, away, stay, disarm, and others. Now we're gonna see there's basically four conditions of a zone: fall, alarm, trouble, and restore. The fall indicates when an area leaves its normal state while the system is disarmed. So it's not gonna send you it's not gonna send an alarm. It's gonna send you like a sign. It's gonna tell you that there's a fault on a zone, and then it's not gonna send any signal to the central station. The alarm indicates when an area leaves its normal state while the system is armed. The panel, in this case, will activate the sirens and the dialer according to the programming of this rewire. So it's going to send a signal to the central station. And the other one is trouble check, indicates when an area leaves its normal state, going to a fall. Going to a fall state, it can be, for example, the tamper, that it's open of a device, a cut cable, a resistance outside the expected value that can cause this action. And the restore, it's indicated when an area enters in normal state after an alarm or fall condition. It can originate action if it is programmed for it. Those are the four conditions of a zone. This is a summary of connection. Like this is, for example, a VISTA20A, which is very much the same of the other ones. The only difference with the VISTA21, it has a RJ45 connection here on the top left. So you can connect the internet in this Vista. This is the only Vista panel you can connect directly RJ45 connector to internet. And then we have all the terminals from 1 to 20, which 1 to it's 1 to the battery, 3 and 4 is the siren, and 4, 5, 6, 7 we call the ECP bus. That's where we connect all the keypads, the expanders, etc. And from 8, A and 9 is zone number 1, which is dedicated for fire devices. Then we got 10 and 11, which is zone number 2, 12 and 13, 13 and 14. Then after that, there is a common terminal, which is with the zones are gonna share, and then they all have the end of the line resistor, which is a 2K end of the line resistor. We all have to install. We recommend it to put the those resistors at the end of the line. I mean, it's actually in the device, and not on the panel. There's a lot of people that put the resistor on the panel, and then we don't recommend that. Hold on one second. I'm having some difficulty with my headset. It's running out of battery, so I'm gonna have to share. I'm gonna have to switch it to my computer. Hold on one second.
Okay. Camila, can you hear me?
Yes, Miguel.
Okay. Sorry, I had to change my headset. It ran out of battery. Okay. This is the VISTA21AP with the connections and the terminals. We're gonna see now a diagram of the VISTA48, which is, as you see, it's almost the same. Terminals, they use the same 1, 2 for power, 3, 4 for the alarm output, will be a siren. And then 4, 5, 6, and 7 are for the ECP. 4 is negative, 5 is positive, and 6 and 7 is the data in and the data out. The communication from the keypad to the panel. And from 8 to 20, there's also the zones. Okay. This is a summary of the connection, like for example, zone number 1, which is terminal 8 and 9. We can see at the end of the line a 2K resistor. They all supervise, so number 2 the same, they all supervise. Zone, like for example, in this case, zone number 3 is unsupervised, meaning that it doesn't have a resistor at the end of the line. And in zone number 5, we have a normally open and supervised zone, which you can see it's all open and not supervised. Those are the different kind of zones connections. Like a note, the end of the line resistor, the normally closed or normally open for zones from 2 to 8 are selectable by zone in the programming mode. We're going to see it later on. This is when you double a zone, that when you can have to 15 zones on the panel, and then you're not going to use any expander. The way that the Vista panel recognize the zone is because of the resistor. In this case, we're going to use for low zones a 3K resistor, or for high zones 6K resistors. You can see on the side the zone pairs. When you double the zone number 2, it's going to open automatically 10. If you open the zone number 3, it's going to open at 11. Zone number 4, the 12, and then up to zone number 8, that is going to open zone number 16. And then it's very important that you use the resistor, otherwise you won't recognize it. It's going to see the device in the same zone. And then also in the programming, you have to select double zone, so the panel knows that you're down in a zone. Power calculation, all these panels, it is very important. It can exceed the 16 milliamperes power, meaning, for example, we got an example there. Like if you're using 4 keypads, each one is using 120 milliamperes, so it's going to be a total of 480. You using 3 motion detectors, they're using 25 milliamperes each, with a total of 75. And for a small detector with 65 milliampere each, using a total of 260 milliampere, your total is going to be 815 milliamperes. So it's going to go over the maximum amount of this panel can give on power over the 16 milliamperes. Then meaning it means it's going to give you a lot of trouble. In that case, you need to install a supplementary power supply. That's a must, because otherwise your panel won't work right. That's why it's very important that every time we do an installation, we gotta make sure we don't go over the 600 milliamperes if you're not gonna use a supplementary power supply. If you're gonna use that, if you know you're gonna go over 600, you have to use the supplementary. And this is the part number for that. This is the HPL624. That's the power supply part number. This is the zone expander, the 4211. I mean the 4219. It gives you. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm sorry. This is the zone expander, the 4219. It has 8 zone expanders. They all use 2K end-of-the-line resistor. They all connect to the ECP bus, meaning you run a cable from here to the panel, and they have the tamper enclosure. And the way you do it, they all have an address. For example, here, if you're going to use a zone expander from zone 9 to 16, you can use address number 7. If you're going to use zones 17 to 24, you have to use the address 8. And that way the panel knows how many expander you're using and how many extra zones you're using. And the way it depends, it has in the top, you see a little table. They all come with a little sticker with a table. If you're going to use address number 8, you go number 8 and you see the switches. Which switches got to be on or which switches got to be off. And then you just go into the expander and change the switches here in the top right. Top left, those are the switches that you're going to use. This is the zone expander, the 4219. We have the 4229, which is the same thing, but it comes with an extra two relays and plus the 8 zone expander. That's the only difference. Also, they use a 2K resistor. It connects to the ECP bus, and the addresses are the same. Depending on which one you use it, you gotta select the address. And the switches also work the same way. This is the 4204, that's a relay module expander. It comes with 4 relays. Each expander comes with 4 relays. They also connect to the ECP bus. And this one uses address from 12 to 15. The other one uses from 7 to 11. This one is from 12 to 15. And the same way, the deep switches settings are on a sticker, are on the instructions, and then just gotta put it in the module, and then the VISTA panel will recognize it. And it also goes to the ECP device. So you run the cable, a 4-wire cable from the device to the panel. And this is the wireless receiver. These are wire modules and expander. This is a wireless receiver. That's a 5800. This is the one we gotta use to install wireless devices. And then we can have only one receiver in each panel, only one. We can have repeaters, several repeaters where we can have only one receiver. We're going to see the difference in a little bit. And also, or it's either the 5800 receiver, or we have the 6160 RF keypad, which is a keypad and also a wireless receiver. So you don't have, if you have this 6160 RF, you don't need the 5800 receiver, because this is going to function as a wireless receiver also, and a keypad. This is the wireless receiver, the 51. We have three types: the low, the medium, and the high end. The low, it supports up to 8 zones. Medium supports up to 16 zones, and the high, it supports all the number of wireless zones available. In this case, 48 zones. They all also are connected to the ECP bus, and the address of these receivers are 00. Since it comes with by factor default 00, and then since we use only one, we cannot use more than one. It's going to stay like that. They're always going to use address 00. Okay. This is a little table that shows you the addresses from what address number to what address number. This is the receiver. They always use address 00 or the RF receiver, either the 5800 or the keypad, the keypad RF. They use address 00. So this is I want to give you a little explanation on how the wireless receivers and repeaters work. Like for example, in the picture, we can see a receiver with a limit of it's up to 60 meters or 200 feet of range of signal. So all the wireless devices have to be inside the range of the receiver. Then if you have other devices outside the range, then you have to install you have to install the repeater. And then the way you install the repeater, like for example here, no, you got the receiver, and then you got outside the zone range, you have the other devices. You got to install the repeater in the area, in the cover area of the receiver. And then this repeater is going to be able to see the other wireless devices, and then it's going to communicate to the receiver. So the panel is going to be able to see it. You know, but if you got more of them and you put a repeater, another repeater who's going to cover the other devices, but this repeater, the new repeater, this repeater is not in the area of the receiver, so it won't work. People usually think like because the first repeater is in the range area of the second repeater, it's going to go, you know, it's going to work. That's not the way it works. The repeater has to be in the receiver area. So this one is not going to work. The way it should be, you're going to have to put the receiver in the middle, and then all the repeaters are going to be around in the coverage area of the receiver, and then the panel is going to be able to see all the wireless devices. That's how it works. Okay, we have some several kind of keypads. These are all accessories that work with all VISTA panels. We have all kind of receiver, keypad, the 6150, fixed English, 6160, the custom alphabetic, which is the more common use, which has two lines on the screen. The fixed English only has one line. It's very difficult to program any device with this one, not with the 6160, which is going to give you double the information, and then you can read basically everything in those keypads. But we can see we got all kind of receivers. We got the 6160 and the 6160 RF, which are the more common. Which this is the one, the 6160 RF, the one with you also work as a wireless receiver. We got keypads with voice message center. We got wireless keypads. We got some keypads with hardware expanded. I mean, meaning that in the same keypad you can have they have up to 4 extra zones, so you don't have to buy an expander. So you can use this keypad for the extra zones, and also one relay inside the keypad, right? So it does like 3 functions at the same time. This is more keypads. In the bottom, we can see the tuxedos. Those are touch screen. And then premium designs keypad, another colors, and slim keypads, and the 5 commercial keypads. We got all kind of wireless devices, door transmitters, door and window transmitters, all kind of sizes, small, medium, large. We got life safety options, which are the smoke detectors, the heat detectors, smoke detectors, they're all wireless, and they have wired too. We have the wireless siren, 2 different kind of wireless sirens. Oh, sorry. We're here. Okay. We got the space protection, which are the shock sensor, the glass break detector, and all the PIR motion sensor devices. They're all wireless. And we got the personal emergency response options, which are the buttons. We got 2 emergency, 1 button, 2 buttons. We got the 4 button wireless key, which you got arm, disarm, stay, arm, and also the panic. They all programmable. We got the sounders, the sirens. They're all wireless and wire. They all kind of. We got the 2-tone sirens, or the dual tone sirens. With all kind of different devices for this. They're all compatible with the VISTA panels. Now, just to when we go to program, well, the first thing you gotta do when you install this panel, you have to put an address to the keypad. By default, it comes with address 31, which you're gonna do. The first thing you do is you turn on your phone. You wire your keypad to the panel, right? And then as soon as you turn it on, you're gonna press and hold the number 1 and number 3 key at the same time. Within the 50 seconds of you turn on the panel, and it's gonna show you con address 31, because usually that's how it comes with factory default. It comes with address 31. It was the one that they used a long time ago, but now it's 16. So what we're gonna do, we put 1 and 6, and then we press start. When you press start, everything you wanna save it. When you change configuration, when you change options, you press the start key. When you're gonna see what's inside the command, you press the pound key. But in this case, you put 1, 6, and then you press start, and then the system is like kind of reboot, and then you're ready to use your panel. Otherwise, it won't. If you don't put which supposedly this is your first keypad. First keypad is you have to have the address 16. If you got a second keypad, it's gonna use the 17. You got a third keypad, it's gonna use the address 18, and so on up to. They can use up to 8 keypads, if I'm not mistaken. But that's the way you set up the address on the keypad. Some programming locations from command 31 to 36, there are the delays of timing. From 40 to 55, there are like communication options. From command 59 to 76, there are reporting options. If the panel It's going to be linked to a central station, and we have also some miscellaneous options and keypad control options. This is for the tuxedos. Mechanisms of programming. If you were to enter the program mode, the code, it's the 4112 plus 800. That's the code by default, by factory, that you use to install, to enter as an installer code, as an installer to program your zone. Okay, and then you exit it as with the command star 99. If you use star 98 to exit the programming, you're gonna lock your keypad, and then the only way you can return as an installer, it's again you gotta turn off your Vista panel. You gotta turn it on, and then you're gonna press at the same time the star and pound key at the same time, and it's gonna give you the option to go to install to the installer mode, and then you can, if you don't know, for example, if somebody changed the installer code and you don't know, that's the only way you can see which one it is, and you can change it. Okay, so you get in installer code 4112 plus 800. That's how you get into your programming mode. Like as I said, the start key advances, some advances to the field enter data. The pound key will display the raw data on the keypad. When data is entered, the keypad is going to be 3 times and advance to the next field. If you're going to default the panel, you go as a installer code 4118 800, and then you do your things. And then if you're going to default the panel, you go star 97, and then you press the start key, and it's going to default your panel. We recommend when it's a new installation, and then you don't know, unless it's the panel is new, and you don't, unless the panel is new, it's pretty much coming as a factory default. But if you get the panel from somewhere else, or it was previously used, we always recommend to default the panel to factory. And this is the way, right? Pound 97, and then you default your panel. If that panel was before connected to a central station, you go and do the star 96, and it's gonna erase every single account who was set up before on that panel. Star 97 and star 96. Star 98, we see it prevents re-entering the programming mode. Star 99, it's how you get out of programming, and then you can re-enter with no problem with the installer code 4112 plus 800. There's some mechanism of programming. When we go to programming itself now, command 20 is where you change the installer code. By default 4112, and then later on you want to change it, you come to this command in programming, and then you just enter another 4-digit code, and then that's how you change your installer code. There's all programming. The start 21, quick arm enable. The start 22, the RF jam option. If you want the panel to detect jamming or not. Quick arm enable is if you want the panel to just you can arm the panel without the code. This is for people who forget the code. And then this is a way you enable this, and then you just with the pound key and number 2 or number 3, you arm your code, your panel. The only downside of this is when it sends the information to the central station, it's not going to show who did that. So anyone can do it. This is all a programming option, 23, bypass. If you want to you want to enable bypass or no. Command 31, single alarm sounding. If you want the alarm unlimited sounding until somebody disarm the panel, or just one alarm per sounding. One alarm sounding per sound, I'm sorry. Command 34, exit delay, you can put how many seconds you want as an exit delay. And then 35 and 36, the entry delay number 1 and number 2, which are the time that you have like to enter or exit the premises, and then the panel is going to give you a certain amount of seconds before it sends a signal to the central station, right? So this is where you set up your time. It will be 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 120 seconds. This is where you do. We have the command 38, confirmation of arming thing. This is more programming. This is when you have an external siren, and then you want to confirm that the panel is in reality armed already, so you can hear the siren outside. This command from 41, this is where you put the communication with central station, primary phone number, partition 1 primary account number, partition 1 secondary account number. You have a secondary account, secondary phone number, primary account for partition 2. Each partition has its own account number. Sometimes they're all the same. So, but this is where you put all this information there. And command 48, and it's less minutes how to do this. I think I have a question there. I'm not sure. There's a question like if you need less minutes. I guess in here, by default, it comes with 60 or 30. The exit delay has to be with 60 seconds. If you're gonna put less seconds, just go into programming mode. You go the command 34, and then instead of and you put 30 and 30 twice, depending if you want only for the partition 1. If you put 30 seconds, and then you press the start key, and it's gonna change it from 60 to 30. Same way with the other ones. You just put the time, and then you save it with the start key, and it's gonna save. It's gonna change either the entry delay or the exit delay time. Here, the report format, they all by default it's a 4-digit Adenco contact ID, which is pretty much most of the panel, most of the central stations use this. So you put option 7 and 7, unless the central station use another kind of language. This is for communication. When you have a communicator, a Honeywell communicator using the GSM or IP, this is where you want to split the reporting. If you're going to send all the reporting, so you just want to do some kind of reporting only, and the dialer delay, if you want 15 seconds or 20 seconds or 30 seconds. The panel will accept 10 second delay. I don't think so. I'm not sure. It's either the minimum, I think, is 30 seconds. I'm not sure about. I gotta get back to you. I'm not sure about if it's gonna accept. Probably yes, it's gonna accept 30 seconds, because you can even put no delay at all. You know, but 10 seconds is just almost nothing. You just gotta run to the door and get out of the house, or when you get into the house, you gotta do it real quick. Well, probably yes, it would accept 10 seconds. This is more than this is when we're using a IP GSM communicator on these panels. Okay, this is the report. These are the commands starting from 59 up to 70 something. So the reports you wanna send. By default, they are all If you wanna, this is all the reports you're gonna send to the central station. If you wanna enable or disable them, this is more reports. By default, everything are disabled. If you want this to send it, so you have to enable. You gotta put one and one on each one. Okay, up to this is up to command 76. This is all reports that you send into the central station. This is a risk. This is also when you're using a communicator, and GSM or IP communicator. You gotta enable this in order for that to work. This is another report, 1 and 0. Now we're gonna see a little bit how you program those zones. We're running a little. This is the zone, the type of zones, different type of zone. For if you're not gonna use it, it's 00, entry exit 1. 01, entry exit 2, 02, 03 is perimeter, 04 is interior follower, etc. This is more, this is a response, the response type of zones. The 24-hour life and safety response time. The system response types. They all have a different code number, as you can see. To enter a zone programming, after you enter as installer code, when you install a code 4118800, you go and press star 56, and then they're gonna give you, as soon as you press star 56, it's gonna start asking questions, which different questions for different zones. Zone number 1, which is only dedicated for fire. Then from zone number 2 to number 8, which are the wire zones, they're gonna ask you questions, and from 9 to 16, 64, which are the wireless zone, they're gonna the question is gonna be a little different, because of they know the wireless zone or you down in the zone. Different questions ask different input types. Yeah, hardwire when it's from zone number 1 to 8. Auxiliary wire when you using expanders. Zone double when you down in the zone, and wireless when you're using a 5800 receiver. So the first thing they're gonna ask you when you go pound 56, I mean star 56, they're gonna ask you to set to confirm, yes or no. They usually use if we want to put 1, which is yes, it's because of the wireless devices. It's going to confirm at the end, when you program, it's going to confirm at the end the communication between the wireless and the panel. Otherwise, we put 0, no confirmation. It's going to ask you for the zone number. And here we start from zone number 1, zone number 2, zone number 3. If you want to quit, you finish, you're going to press 00, and then you out of the programming mode. After you press the zone number, it's going to give you the first summary screen. It depending on each is hardwire, or you're using an expander, or if you're using a wireless expander. It depends. When you use a wireless, it's gonna give you the RF code. If you're using an expander, it's gonna be AW, and if you're gonna use any other language system, it's gonna be EL. So after the summary is gonna ask you the type, zone type. Here is which you put, you select the zone type you're using. Right? For example, this is a PIR, a motion detector. You're gonna select number 4, which is interior follower. In this case, they selecting number 03, which is a perimeter, which is could be any Windows door contact. Then it's gonna ask you partition number, so either 1, 2, 3. Then it's gonna show you the report code. This is for if you're gonna report central station. We just leave it as 0, 1, and 10. We just always leave it like that. It's gonna ask you for the hardwire type. In this case, end of the line, which is 0. If you're gonna double, you're gonna press. You're gonna put number 3. It is normally all closed. Normally closed is gonna be number 1, or normally open is gonna be number 3. It depends on the device you selected. and it's gonna ask you for the response time. We always put number one, which is 350 milliseconds. It makes not much difference unless you're using another device, other devices for other things, like for example, drawing, a very expensive drawing. Like if you put a little device on the back of the drawing, as soon as you move that one, it's gonna trick the alarm right away. So basically, this is, and then you in this time you put zero response time, right? Because right away it's gonna give you an alarm. But we usually leave it with the response time one. It's gonna ask you, it's gonna give you another screen summary, and then it's gonna ask you. We keep pressing every time we finish with a screen. We press the start key. It's gonna go to the next one. Summary screen, another one. It's gonna ask you for alpha. Program alpha means like if you're gonna put a name to the zone. If you're gonna put a name to the zone, it's gonna give you another whole set of screen. If not, it's gonna show you zone number one, zone number two, zone number three. Custom work. This is where if you wanna put a custom work. We don't wanna see that right now. Then it's gonna ask you for, and then we almost pretty much done. Then it's gonna ask you for another zone number. You put number two. You're gonna do like, for example, we're gonna do here a wireless zone. So in input type, we're gonna put number three, which is RF. And then it's gonna ask you for the serial number. All devices, all wireless devices has a serial number and a loop number. They are in the sticker. They all have a sticker with the serial number, and there's two ways you're gonna pair the wireless device with the panel. Either you type it in the serial number, or you're gonna have to open and close the wireless device like 2 times. The first time is gonna automatically get the serial number, and the second time is gonna get the loop number. After you got the serial number and the loop number, you're gonna press the start key, and it's gonna save it. Okay. If you're gonna confirm, in the beginning they say you wanna confirm yes or no. If you say yes, it's gonna confirm. So you're gonna open and close the device again, and then it's gonna confirm it. Okay, so that's basically how you program zones on these VISTA panels. It's pretty easy. By the way, this is all in the manuals, the programming manuals or programming operators, which come with the panel. So you can read that information also in there. This is if you're gonna replace a wireless receiver. You just gotta press. You gotta fill out the old information with 0000, and then you press the start key, and it's gonna, and then you gonna pair the wireless device again. These are the function keys that we were talking about. That this is key number A, key letter A, letter B, letter C, letter D. You can program those. They all have a particular zone. The letter A has a zone 95, the B has a zone 99, and the C has a zone 96. You can program with different functions. These are like shortcuts, on the same keypad. Pro security codes, just to finish, we can use up to 48 user code with 5 authority levels. Level number 1 is installer. Level number 2 is the master code, which is by default 1234. The installer code is 4112. And then we got a partition master, which is user number 3 in partition 1 and user number 33 in partition 2. With all the functions, they all have different functions. Those are the authority levels. 0 levels a common user. Level number 1 is ARM only. Number 2 is a guest, when you give access to a guest. Number 3 is the rest, when you're in the rest situation. Like for example, you have I don't know, a gun pointing your head, and it's going to tell you to disarm the system. You got a particular code that you're going to disarm it, and then the central station is going to know you're in danger, and it's going to send the police or whatever they have to do. The level is partition master, level number 4. How to add a user code, master code, which is 1234 plus 8 plus 2-digit user number. In this case, for example, we're going to do user number 3, so we put 03, and then the code, 4-digit code, no? 6789, whatever the user wants to set up his code. And to delete a user code is master code plus 8, the 2-digit user number plus pound plus 0. And how to assign attribute to user, that's master code plus 8, plus the user number plus pound, the attribute number plus the value. Okay? Pretty easy. You don't have to go to programming to do this. You go straight to the keypad. This is another procedure how to change the master code, adding a user code, deleting a user code, adding a duress code, and then associated with a key fob. When you program a key fob, you have to assign it to a user, otherwise it won't work. If you don't assign it to a user, it won't work. This is some system message of the common troubles of the keypad, common failure. There's a failure in the telecommunication. Open circuit. It could be a lot of things. You gotta to read the battery. You can check. You have to check the wiring, because indicates that the keypad is not receiving data. So you gotta check basically the wires. Modem communication. It means like somebody's remotely connected to the panel. So like using Compact, for example. So it's gonna show you modem com. AC loss, when you lost power, there's no, and it's running on backup battery only, so it's going to show you AC loss. Checking sensors, different voltage of the sensors. An open sensor would measure approximately 12 volts. A closed sensor would measure approximately 5 volts. A shorter sensor is going to measure 0 volts. And this is basically, that's what it is. There's an overview of VISTA. There's some technical support, some numbers. This is for Latin America, numbers of technical support. There's going to be a little survey. If you want to do the survey, just take out your phone, your telephone, your cell phone, and take a picture of this QE graphic, and it's going to open a survey. You just got to select English, because I think by default it comes within Spanish, Mexican, or Spanish. You select English at the top, and then you please fill out the survey. It's very important for us for you guys to listen. And then if you got any questions, something, you just put in here. We need to know how we're doing, how can we improve. So that's why it's very important to fill out the survey. And you also want to have a survey, I think, for protection side. Well, basically, again, thank you very much for your time, guys, and we will see each other in another webinar.